Hey Ian, I'm doing the landing page teardown for your website, Paircast.io. Um, okay, here we go. So I like your logo. The website looks very clean. I like the usage of the colors. I like the font, and you haven't done anything weird from a visual perspective that I can notice. The first thing I don't like about your website is the fact that this little chat bubble pops out even before I scroll down to the bottom of the website. It just pops out automatically. That removes a little bit of my attention from the main part of your website, which is the content. So let's analyze your H1. More docs, fewer meetings. Save time explaining code by creating video documentation as you work. Now, that is a great idea. I'm actually, I've had a similar idea in the past, but nothing of this size, so to speak, in terms of scope. I think it's an amazing idea, like I just said, and the title, the H1, gives enough information that me as a user, I feel like, yes, indeed, I need more docs as a developer, and I need to spend less time in meetings. So users can kind of like see themselves in the shoes where they're like, oh yeah, I do have too many meetings. I repeat myself too much. And the fact of repeating yourself, saving time, using these words, saving time, repeating yourself, save time explaining code over and over again, you know, saving time by recording once and having it stored forever. Those are definitely concepts that you can use in your H1 and H2. As you know, in your H1 and H2, what you have to show to your users is how they see themselves using your product, and also understand why your product is for them, and also it's the best thing out there that they can purchase. And if you can show that it's tailored to their use case, they can see themselves using it, and that it's the best on the market, they will definitely scroll further down. I am a fan of interactivity, but I feel like this is a little bit too much, embedding a whole, basically a preview or kind of the widget that comes as the result of doing a Paircast. Um, Full disclosure, I have used your tool before, so I might be biased, so please do be aware of this. But I do feel like there's so much going on that having embedded the full widget, the full experience isn't the right choice at this time. Instead, what you should do is take a screenshot and annotate it with your by hand, and or you can scribble with it with your pen and give it some kind of like touch where you show the various parts of Paircast in and that's a much better approach than doing just like, hey, here's everything, good luck. And if I start clicking, I would probably start, yeah, I would spend too much time on this without knowing too much what I'm clicking on. Although I can understand how, if someone spends enough time on this part of the website, they can maybe figure it out. They can figure out the program. Okay, scrolling down, here's something that's not sure what this is. Are these like three little cards for features? Works with text editors, any text editors from VS Code to Vim, works with any coding language, downloads available for Windows and Mac. Okay, so those are definitely um, the obvious features of Paircast. You need to be specific here about why your features are important to the users. So here, it works with any text editor. What if I don't use a text editor? Then, what if I just want to give feedback on something that's like on GitHub or on a web page? Would that still work? I don't know. You should probably address this a little bit better. Works with any coding language, no matter what. Okay, that's pretty good. And then downloads of what? Is this you downloading your platform? Um, what are you trying to? You should be a little bit more constructive here. in terms of, sorry, by constructive I mean give a little bit more understanding of the fact that you have a client. And again, I know that you have a client, so the client gets installed on your Windows and Mac and works on both. And then a beta sign up. And I like the fact that you say it's free. A lot of people like to write underneath something like free trial. I don't require your credit card. Beta sign up, for free, etc., etc. So this is pretty good. It's a little bit small. I would probably even do it some kind of reinforcement as to why you want to sign up. You want to tell your customers that your tool is the best for doing this kind of work, and therefore you want to reinforce that or just above or below here before prompting them to click on the call to action. Also, notice how your call to action down here is the same one as up here. And instead of having a call to action in the middle of the page, I like that you've taken the approach where you only have it at the top right on the navigation bar. By the way, the navigation bar scrolls with you, so at this point you might want to change the color of the beta sign up here, since you're going to have it throughout the page. So for example, you have it here. And also the fact that the beta sign up here before the scroll of, or rather the fold, doesn't say anything about it being free. So maybe you should say free sign up for free, try for free, up here, and then you can just use whatever you have here. Now you basically start breaking down your product and trying to explain why I should use your product down here, which is exactly what you should also kind of start by doing up here in these little 3 cards. So the reasons why people need to buy your product are basically that you're ditching meetings. Okay, so I don't really understand the image. How is the image preventing me from attending more meetings? Instead, you should show how by having video and text, I don't have to repeat myself multiple times. Replace your stand-up core review support. So instead of saying all this, I mean, this is all valid, but what you're showing me is instead that you're recording video and audio and code at the same time, instead of me having to repeat myself, right? So send video documentation instead. Okay, that's good. I like this one. So my point for this specific image is that if I have never used your tool, I'm not really sure what I'm looking at by looking at just these 2 images. I see like something that looks like a live stream, right? Like a desktop video recording, and then a little bit of text. But it's not obvious to the new user who have never used your platform that this is your transcript and your code, okay? That's my point for this first part. Never write documentation again. Generate documentation with videos and voice transcripts. Video, I understand that. Here, voice transcripts, again, it's not really highlighted in the back image. Instead, what I see is more of a timeline of events. So I guess it's not as obvious as it could be, but there you go. And then that's it. You only have 2 features. I always recommend having 3 for the features drill downs, where what you want to do is kind of like list the reasons why your current solution is the best on the market, why people should use it, how it addresses the pain points of the users, and the results that they can expect as a result of them purchasing your platform, right? So move fast, fix things. Not sure why you've used this header here. Paircast keeps you coding, built for speed, and fits into your developer workflow. So that makes sense. So instead, I would have used something that reinforces this statement, which is, helpful for developers, product managers, onboarding, something like that. And then here, there's a little bit of another little drill down in features. Pull requests, code reviews. So these are all the use cases. So yeah, so the title of this should be something related to the use cases. And the use cases, obviously, it can be used for so many things, where instead of move fast, fix things, you should probably be saying something like, oh, this can be used for anything. No matter the issue you have, this can be solving it, right? And obviously, of course, this isn't the text, but that's the concept, right? So something about being flexible, about being, set and forget, record once. Um, for example, for tutorials and code review, have everybody, asynchronously on the same page. You can play with a lot of this. For SEO purposes, you could also create a landing page for each one of these, by the way, where you go in depth into how it can be used for these scenarios. That's going to be very powerful, especially for your sales team, if you have a sales team, or when you do sales yourselves. Instantly create coding tutorials. Okay, so here you're basically picking up some of the scenarios and you're drilling down, and you basically have a markdown icon. So let's see, writing tutorials quick and easy as doing work. Paircast generates voice and code transcript. You can edit into a make it ready tutorial. So not everybody understands markdown, so maybe something to think about. And it's kind of weird how you've had, you're kind of like the reasons why you need to purchase your tool up here, so ditching your meeting and never writing documentation again. Then you have like use cases, and then you have some more of this stuff. Use cases breakdown. Close support takes the first time. It's kind of like you're throwing everything out there on the homepage, while instead you might want to create landing pages specifically for the use cases. You can't like basically you're thinning out your product at this point. Instead of doing this, create sub pages for each use case. So I'm gonna skip all this. Get started your way. See how Paircast speeds up your developer workflow. Okay, I like this. So what are you saying? Okay, so so you're kind of recreating this area here down here, which I assume you have maybe added at the end. You realized that you wanted to do this, and then you just duplicated the effort. Let's see what happens if I click on it. Takes me back at the top. That's definitely not the outcome that I was expecting. Like I said, I would create one of each, unless this. No, it doesn't. I was expecting this to be automatically refreshing the widget with the use case, and even that's kind of a stretch. Instead, what I would prefer is a new page with maybe what I call the widget, which is this, and then more in-depth information. So this is kind of a lot to digest. I'm gonna cut it here short, but I'm happy to talk to you more about this. Hope this is somewhat useful so far. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you find this useful. If not, please do let me know on Twitter, and best of luck to you.